As the artisan confectionery sector continues to gather pace around the world, we speak to Bill Guyton, the Executive Director of the Fine Chocolate Industry Association, to discuss some of the key trends affecting the sector, looking at some of the organisation's hopes for 2021, as well as discussing how the pandemic has had an impact during the past 12 months.
Great, Neil. Well, if I look back to March of this year, I don't think any of us could have realized the impact that COVID was going to have on our lives. And at that time, we were actually in San Francisco at a trade conference and consumer festival, and the news came out about the growing threat. And so I got on the plane and went back to my home and didn't realize at the time that was the last trip I would take for the year. And we realized within FCIA that things had to change to address some of the problems that were happening related to COVID. So the board got together and decided to look at a plan that would better support our members of all different sizes. And they really looked at three different areas. One is how to provide better education and information to our members, and we did that a lot through webinars that were developed, which we continue to do on a weekly basis with our company members. The second track was to look at how we could help our company members to sell product directly online. And a lot of them had online sales before, but we developed a new website called MakeMineFine.com, which lists now over 100 of our company members that sell product directly to consumers. And we've been able to expand that website now to include not only a marketplace for consumers, but also information on equipment sales that people want to buy and make chocolate at home, and also a section on experiences. So if someone wants to participate in a demonstration, a live demonstration or recorded demonstration, they can find information on how to do that. So we're really building that out, and we've had real positive response from consumers. We've also put on there a cocoa sustainability section, which talks about the differences and the uniqueness of different cocoa from producing countries in Latin America, Asia, and Africa.
Bringing the new website on stream, how much of a difference do you think that's made given the pandemic conditions that we've had?
Well, that's a good question, Neil. And we track the number of visitors on the site, and we also promote it through social media. And more importantly, we ask our members, have they seen any improvements, and have there been sales as a result of being directed to their site from Make Mine Fine. And we are seeing positive impact. We're seeing an uptick, particularly around the holidays now, of the last 2 weeks, of about 20 to 30% increase in visitors. So we want to continue to promote that, particularly if it brings value to our company members.
Very good indeed. And yeah, the Fine Chocolate Industry Association as a concept, what inspired you to set it up initially, and how has it evolved in the time that you've been behind it?
Well, the Fine Chocolate Industry Association was formed back in 2007. And at that time, it was just a handful of companies really who had a passion for fine chocolate and quality chocolate. And over the years, we've seen that expand to over 300 company members and professionals. And Neil, what's exciting is that it's not just bean to bar makers, which are a very important constituency of our membership, but another third are chocolatiers. They buy chocolate byproducts from processors and make it into wonderful products. The remaining third of our membership consists of cocoa farmers, farmer organizational groups, cocoa traders, and specialty retailers. So it's the whole supply chain, all the way from retail to cocoa farmers.
Sustainability is a key interest to yourself personally, having been at the heart of the World Cocoa Foundation previously. Can you tell me, in your eyes, how important is it that sustainability as regards the cocoa sector is really delivered upon in the coming months and years ahead?
Well, if I look at the fine chocolate industry, uh, sustainability is in the DNA of the association. It's part of the mission statement, which talks about ethical sourcing. And we want to go beyond just saying that we support ethical sourcing to actually proving it. And we have many companies who are actually doing that. They are purchasing beans directly from cocoa farmers. They are invested in programs and training to help improve the quality of cocoa. And they're rewarding farmers with premiums. So we're seeing success stories with many of our companies, and we're trying to build that up to show some best practices that can be rolled out to other company members across our industry. If you look at the sourcing of the fine chocolate industry, we did a recent business survey of our membership, and 80% of them purchased cocoa from Latin America. They also purchased from other countries as well, including parts of Africa and Asia. But it's a predominantly Latin America sourcing from our members. And that's where a lot of our programs are. That being said, we see that there are great opportunities to improve farmer incomes through not only providing premiums to cocoa producers that many of our company members are doing, but also looking at ways to help farmers diversify into other food crops or other cash crops and off-farm incomes so that they can have a more sustainable livelihood.
On an overall level, and how vital do you believe it is that we solve some of these long-term issues for the wider industry in your eyes?
I think it's critical, and I know some of the recent articles that have been written about conditions in West Africa have me troubled. I've worked in West Africa for many years, and I think there's some good programs that are going on through the companies as well as through the governments. I think what everyone needs to do is to take a step back and remember that we need to put the cocoa farmers first. And it's not pointing at the governments, it's not pointing at the industry, but putting the self-interest, the interests of these producers first, and looking at how we help them and taking aside all the rest of the politics of really understanding how to help those people that grow this important crop in West Africa as well as other parts of the world.
And just coming back to your association there, you've got some, very diverse membership of companies and, as you say, cocoa farmers as well. So just coming to the finished product itself, what kind of trends have you seen emerge during the past year in spite of the pandemic conditions that we've had?
Well, Neill, surprisingly, we've heard back from our members that their online sales have greatly increased. Those that have good online sales platforms and good reach are able to do so through online sales. And not surprisingly, some of the retail sales that they have in brick and mortars have been challenged in certain areas. So I think there's some pluses and some minuses with the current environment, but we're learning as we go. And I think with these companies, the fine chocolate companies, they really are innovative by nature. They have quality products, and they also have innovative business practices that are able to adapt to new conditions. So I'm hoping that this is the start of a way that we can adapt to new environments and actually increase the percentage of the fine chocolate market.
No, that's interesting to hear indeed. And in your eyes, what needs to happen for the sort of more artisan-based producers to gain a higher profile in the mainstream confectionery market?
Well, I think it's a lot about continuing to make quality products and to explain the story of where the cocoa comes from, and also to have better promotions, to be able to show consumers that fine chocolate is different from commercially produced chocolate. It's using quality products. It's higher in cocoa content. The texture is different. It's an experience, and everyone, regardless of whether you're a high-end or a low-end consumer, everyone should have that experience to try fine chocolate and to enjoy it.
A question: how encouraged are you by the fact that there does seem to be some real innovation in the artisan sector from your perspective?
Well, first of all, congratulations to the Academy of Chocolate for being able to continue carrying out their awards despite the challenges of COVID. And these types of awards, conferences and award platforms are really important for the fine chocolate industry. And Academy of Chocolate does a great job. There's also Cocoa of Excellence and many others out there that are rewarding farmers and artisan chocolate makers from around the world for their products. It really helps to highlight to consumers the importance of these different origins and to try and sample different kinds of chocolate from around the world. So I applaud all of these efforts and hope that they continue.
But as far as your association is concerned, what are your priorities going to be in the coming months moving into, as we go through into 2021?
Well, already the first quarter of 2021, we have a lineup of really interesting webinars that are scheduled around different topics related to chocolate making, to chocolate cocoa sourcing, to improvements in business practices. And I think that companies, whether they're chocolatiers or chocolate makers or cocoa traders or cocoa farmers, will find them very interested about that. And we're hoping too that we will be able to do an in-person conference perhaps towards the end of 2021 if everything works out well.